So the legal counsel of Missouri State Parks, who's fully aware that we're applying for this, don't you think that they would allow us, knowing that Ameren's going to give it to us, to apply for the grant?
I have no idea what they would say.
No, we know what they said.
I don't.
They said it's fine,
Well,
that we should apply for it. And in fact, I think it would be, this is where we want to be proactive, right? This is where we want to take Eldon forward. Because if we stand back and wait and say, you know, we might not get this property, first of all, we're never going to own the trail, okay? It's a bill that Ronald Reagan put in that there's an easement that a train could go back through. Do you understand that we'll never own it?
I'm fully aware of that.
Okay, so we'll never own it, ever. Not gonna be our property, it's gonna be our trail. It's gonna be great for people to use, to access, to come here. We're gonna be one of the first towns in the state that develop a trail if we're proactive. Now we can wait, and we don't have to sign this, and we can wait another 2 years, or 4 years, or 5 years, to where every other community along the trail can develop it inside their town. Or we could be one of the first, and we can take advantage of it. And we've already written a crosswalk grant that this board council's approved, and $19,000 of that match can be used because Missouri State Park says it can be used as a match. Already state funds used for private property owned by Ameren, because Ameren says we're going to give it to the state of Missouri. Okay, so we need to know, we're never going to own it, Missouri State's going to own it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Ameren still hasn't given it to the state?
Correct.
And the state
January
still
2018, they're pulling up the rail. Have you seen that when you're coming through?
And the
And
state
they're
still
sailing that rail for about $18 million probably.
And the state still has not given us an easement or anything else, correct?
That is
And
correct.
we have no idea when that's going to happen.
We have a great idea that's going to be in December of this year or January of 2018.
But we have no certainty of that. Is that correct?
I have no certainty of a lot of things.
I
And that's
understand
why,
it.
no,
I think it's a great idea, it's just that, you know, you kinda gotta have something that gives us the right to act if we get the grant.
What are the negative consequences if we do apply for this without the legal right to do it?
Well, number one, if you get the grant money and you still don't have any authority of doing it on a trail, I'm not real sure what you would do with the grant money. We wouldn't really be able to use any of our Eldon public funds on it until we get something from the or the railroad or whomever.
I look at this, I've thought about this completely. The first thing is, I gotta see whether or not they're gonna approve us for the grant, correct? All right, so we have
has
to
Bell been
submit
approved?
it. So we have to submit it and see. The first thing is, there's a lot of things into what Ameren wants us to sign to take responsibility of the trail, but with the letter that I see from you, we submit that saying, when the grant is approved, we will sign that. Which we all feel that'll be towards the end part of this year, correct?
Correct.
At that point in time, the Department of Natural Resources is gonna have that.
They're going to own
And
the
which
property.
they already told us, correct,
Correct.
that they'll work with us to get it developed through here. So personally, but I wanted to make sure that everybody sitting on here knows exactly what we've been legally told, what we're looking at here. I think, and everybody understand that.
Can I get the accounting on the $36,000 for what I heard from Matt? If we sign it, if we sign it, we're on the hook for $36,000.
I can tell you the match. So 19,000 of it comes from the match of the tap. Then 5,000 comes from helping schools out the communities. Community Foundation said they threw in $1,000. Eldon Chamber of Commerce said they threw in $1,000. And Eldon Development Corporation said they threw in $1,000. So the city's match is $11,000 to develop only a half mile. We were hoping to get a mile inside the city limits of Eldon for $150,000. So for an $11,000 investment,
Understand, man.
you're getting $187,000 worth of development
But I
inside.
also understand how that 11,000 people can donate their time, labor, machinery.
Can be in kind.
Doesn't the 5,000 or whatever on the donated go trail.
Yes,
That
it's, I
was-
didn't know if you got that letter.
I don't have it
Oh.
yet, but I'll have it by the 17th,
Yeah,
if this is the way the board chooses to go.
Okay, yes.
I do. It's in the back of this, I gave you about the Rock Island Trail, look in the very back page, and it explains it, and breaks it down. We got that this morning in the trail meeting. It shows the breakdown in there.
I guess somebody already asked this question, but I want to make sure I understand. What's the worst thing that can happen if we apply for this and we get the money and then all of these expectations fall through?
Any financial backlash or reprimands?
From what I understand and experiences, that you can turn down the money. You will likely lose, you could lose reputation, but you can also counteract that and tell them why. You never know what they're gonna say, but as far as I know, you just turn it down. And you, because we're not gonna accept the money.
Right, if you're awarded the grant, you have to sign an agreement, just like anything else. You cannot sign that agreement if you don't feel justified. And like Debbie was saying, if you turn it down, then you probably look bad in their eyes for the next application from that program. But, I mean, that's a
I'm sure that is
issue at that point that you can make. Right.
But if we can't meet the requirements with the money we use, if the guidelines are put down, then we turn it down.
Yes,
Exactly, right?
yes.
Mark, you see anything else in there?
Hey, where's the 180,000 coming from? From the people that are gonna get this land? Who
it's a
actually?
federal grant.
It's a federal grant.
And the state wants us to apply for it because then they don't have to use state funds to develop the trail. It's federal monies developing the trail. We're using another grant to help with the $19,000 match. Seems like a pretty good deal to me.
And this could be a multi-phase project, obviously.
Yeah, there will be, after we had our meeting, there's no way, with everything entailed, we can't cover the full 2.4 miles of it, so it will be several phases, which is in the grant, it talks about the phases. So it'll be just one section, so then, once we complete this section, then we'd apply again and probably utilize other grant funds to continue along the way. And we can overlap them, we can still apply for other funds as we're finishing this first project if we're awarded the money.
Are there any other communities that are also looking into this? They're in the exact same scenario we are, aren't they?
Bell's already applied for the grant last year. They've received it. They're going through the NEPA, which is an environmental study. They're already a year ahead of us.
So, but they haven't been given the land either, correct?
Correct.
So they are working it without it. They have actually applied for it a year ago.
Well, does that matter? You tell me they were turned down a year ago or they received a year ago?
They received it a year ago.
Okay. And they also do not own the property.
They never
You
will.
see, that was,
Nobody
and
will.
never, and you see, that's one concern I had with what they put in here. And that's what Mark brought up too, that we never would, because it said in something I read here. But if they did it, okay, with this, I think we need to move forward.
Yes.
Okay,
Mayor, if you do eventually get an easement, I mean, I realize you're never gonna own this stuff outright, but you're gonna get an easement or some grant that gives you the right to go in and do whatever you want to do on a piece of trail. So that's what Bell's operating under, that's what everybody's gonna be operating under, whenever Ameren gets around to do it.
okay. Ameren will not give us the same agreement that Bell's under, is what I've been told. However, by doing what we're going to do, it says, yes, if we're awarded a grant, we will sign something with Ameren to give us an easement upon receiving of the grant. By then, it may be belonging to the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, and it'd be a different agreement, but still give us the things to do it. that's why I think we need to just push forward, because I got a problem personally with the, access agreement from Ameren, I'll be truthful. But we can hang on and push it to that point, which I think we can, and we get the grant, then we're moving forward. And that's what we need to do. I want to make sure that everybody sitting in this room today understood some of the legal questions that may come up. And I think that's what all the things we're dealing with, not come and see the glory end of it, but also look at every other aspect that may come back at us. And that's why you got it.
You just mentioned you had a problem with Ameren's agreement. What are you alluding to there?
I thought there was a lot of things that we could be liable for, and I felt that, this is my personal opinion, and Matt and I disagree on this. I think that before they can give it to the Department of Natural Resources, okay, our grant should be to build it the way we want it in here after somebody else gets it all cleaned everything up. Okay, and I didn't feel that if we sign this grant, my personal feelings are the easement access from Ameren says, well, I just took on all this responsibility in the city. And that's what concerns me with that, personally. And because we cannot afford to take on the things, all that. Granted, Department of Natural Resource comes in, that's their baby then. They give us that to go in to work on it, and we'll build it to their specifications and things of that nature, which we'll have to anyhow.
Right.
But I just don't want to be liable for some things there that we pick up. This is my personal feelings that we may pick up that wasn't straightened up when they handed it over to us and you took this responsibility. That's the way I feel about it.
Now, part of the grant does cover the EPA regulations, and so go in there and do the testing and so forth, so that we would know that before we put any more money.
That was my next question, is in the grant funds, do the environmental assessment of the property?
Yeah, they do.
You're
Don't-
So that's not
required,
our
you're
responsibility.
required to have the assessments done.
That'll be part
So-
of the grant. They'll pay for that.
All I can say, Alderman, is this. You know what I know about it, so.
Let me ask another question that maybe Matt will know the answer to. What's the life cycle of this process? When would, if we were
So we'll know
selected, when would we
We'll
likely
know
receive
August
the money?
or September of whether or not we received the grant. From there, we'll have a meeting basically saying, here's where it is. The first thing we need to do is the environmental study, which they say takes 4 to 6 months. So that would put us into the spring of 2018 before we can do anything.
And Department of Natural Resources will have the property, therefore we will not have to sign the deal with Ameren to take the.
To do the environmental study, we might have to sign access for the environmental to go and get
And do that.
access.
And if we
but-
do, we do.
Right, but that's more for them to get access to take the samples.
The worst case scenario is we get a bad reputation of being proactive. I think that's a good thing. So,
The way I understood it at the last meeting, there was 50 applications last year and only 17 were awarded. They'll have to be one of the 17. So it's not a slam dunk that you're gonna get this application.
Correct.
No, it's very, very competitive.
Yeah. But we also have some people in different places that know that we want it, and also know that if they can, they're gonna help us get it.
Like, I envision in 3 years, the governor coming here to cut a ribbon to say, let's open the Rock Island Trail. And it'll be because we're the first one done with the depot fully renovated, biking and walking paths throughout our town, playgrounds. You see the whole thing happening along with our new plant development for Adient, where they walk down and go see it, with our senior housing by Carousel, and they're like, what an amazing small town. Or we could say no, and we have no trail, and they go to Owensville to cut the ribbon.
One of the big things we do have going for us on the application is the fact that we did get the tap. And it's connecting to what we're proposing to do with the RTP because of the crosswalk and the sidewalks. It's all kind of merging together, and they do look at those kind of things.
I'd just like to say I respect Mr. Warren for doing his job.
I do too.
Giving us what he believes is good advice. What we do with that, I think, is up to us, and I personally would like to be known as a proactive community that's trying to develop this. I realize there's a slight downside to this if it goes awry, but I think it's a good idea to move forward.
That could be, we'll deal with that.
So is that a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the resolution number 03-2017.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.